Every time I make a video about money and finance and economics and banking, get a lot of DMs from people that want to know more about money, financial literacy, money coaching, where to invest their money is one of the biggest questions. Um, and look, I have said that I'm going to travel around the country to meet up with people. I met up with people, some guys in Durban at the Starbucks on Florida Road. I was there 2 weeks ago, I think. It's pretty dope. I was in Johannesburg over last weekend. I was in Johannesburg. I met with some people at the McDonald's near Campus Square in Auckland Park. And then the next day, I was at the Union Buildings meeting some people in Pretoria. And I am planning to travel more parts of the country, of course. I keep visualizing a sit down with people where I unpack money in its simplest forms because I realize even in all the conversations and the financial literacy conversations, people have made money this really complex thing, which it is not. Money is not complicated. Money is extremely simple. What the people that run the finance world have done is they've added variations of money that have made money seem complicated. And for the vast majority of people, not just in South Africa, but around the world, they only need to know the basics of money. I'll give you a stupid example. So I've drafted a budgeting blueprint. I'll drop it in the description and I'll pin it as a comment. I've drawn up a budgeting blueprint. That budgeting blueprint is designed for any amount of money that you make per month. And it's got percentages. I drafted it on 10,000 Rand. And then I split it on normally the biggest expenses. Your shelter, your transport, your food. If you happen to have children, your children, maybe let's add healthcare and what's called communication, which is your cell phone, data, airtime. There's a couple of other things that you could add there. Entertainment, as an example. So entertainment is not going out per se. Entertainment is paying your TV license, paying for your DSTV, paying for Netflix. Arguably, I guess you could also add data, your subscriptions rather, online. If you are a contributing member to my channel, you're paying member, that becomes part of your entertainment budget. If people could look at this and plug in their amount, I earn 5,000 Rand a month, I earn 50,000 Rand a month, I earn 25,000 Rand a month, and you work out the percentages, you can then see if you are living beyond your means. And most people are living beyond their means. How do you live below your means? You adjust. You adjust your cost of living. If you're earning 50,000 as an example, and I've said that, look, your shelter should not cost more than 30%. 30% of 50,000 Rand is 15,000 Rand. 5, 10, 15, 15,000 Rand. Now that doesn't mean, that means if I go to the bank and they approve a 15,000 Rand bond installment per month, I'm within Penuel's budgeting blueprint. Nah, that 15,000 Rand includes, if you're renting, it's your rent, it's your electricity, maybe if you have a domestic worker, maybe if you have a gardener, whatever, it must all be included there. If you've bought a home, gotten a bond, it's your home installment, it's your insurance on your home, it's your rates and taxes, it's your electricity and water spend. If you have a domestic worker, if you have a gardener, if there's certain types of maintenance you need to do around the house, constantly painting things, fixing things, etc., it must all fall within that 15,000 Rand a month. All of a sudden, that 50,000 Rand you were earning, you're looking at a bond of maybe 9,000 Rand, which is a 900,000 Rand 2-bedroom flat, maybe, or 3-bedroom townhouse, depending on where you're based. And you're like, but Pen, it's not realistic, bro. I earn 50,000. The bank is actually willing to give me a bond for 20,000. I think I should take it. I got a beautiful 2 million Rand. I'm like, bro, money is simple. Stick to the budget. I earn 10,000 Rand. To own a vehicle for transport, let's make it 20% for ease. 20% of 10,000 Rand is 2,000 Rand. That is not a 2,000 Rand installment with residual, which is a balloon payment at the end, which is rubbish. That 2,000 rand is your installment, your car insurance, if you take your car to the car wash, budgeting for servicing and maintenance, fuel, and maybe you can even add parking, car guards, parking at malls, etc. And if you're like, well, clearly I can't afford a car. Exactly. You cannot afford a car. You can only afford a taxi, a bus, a train. You cannot even afford an Uber, a Bolt. Because for each trip, you may be paying 60 rand, 80 rand, 120 rand. You're going to chow that 2,000 rand within a week. Budgeting blueprint. Money is simple. What was money meant to be? Money was meant to be a representation of goods and services. Goods, cabbage, maize, potatoes, a cow, a chicken, a piece of furniture, a bed, a car, clothing, goods. Those are tangible, hard things. What is a service? Someone who cleans your house. That's no good there. There's no product. They are cleaning, it's a service. The person that washes your car, the person that teaches your children, the nurse at the hospital or the clinic, the doctor, the lawyer. Those are services. Those are not product that you buy, like I'm buying something from a shop. The cashier at the shop is offering a service. You're buying a product. Money was meant to represent goods and services. Nothing more, nothing less. And it was meant to be based on fair value. So you imagine an entire world of people that have skills, people that produce goods, etc. And they're like, look, I'm looking for this thing. What can I offer in return? And then you give them money so that if they need something else, they go and they use it. Then certain people came and they added these weird things to money. They added interest. So instead of just buying a piece of furniture, you can buy it on installment, but you're not paying 5,000 rand for the furniture. You're going to pay 500 rand a month over a certain period plus 25% interest. That's the one part they added. And if you look at how interest is calculated, it is not based on reality. It doesn't take a cow 1 month to give birth to a calf and then the calf becomes a fully grown cow. It takes, in terms of getting it pregnant, I'm not sure how long, it takes months for the cow to be pregnant, and then the calf has to grow, I think, over 18 months to become a fully grown nkomo, a kui, a cow. But now when you look at the interest that is charged, by the way, that's a cow for a cow. That's 100% return, which takes you, let's say, 2 to 3 years to realize, including the fact that you need to feed it, you need a shepherd, you need to make sure that it's safe, you need to inject it, you immunize it, etc. With interest, a person will take 100 rand and they'll want it to replicate itself within 2, 3, maybe even 6 months. What has grown in 6 months that is old enough, big enough, in profit to say this is nothing? So interest has been used to steal money from people in intelligent ways. Inflation, the constant increasing of the price of goods. Why? Why is a cow no longer the same value as someone who cleans a house for 3 months? At some point, if you could clean a house for 3 months, offer a service, you could be rewarded in a cow. But because of inflation, all of a sudden the cow, the person who's working, now needs to work for 12 months to afford the cow. No, because the price of goods has gone up. You're like, okay, so the price of groceries have gone up, but I'm not getting paid more. And where this will even fuck you up even more, I'm a farm worker. I earn a salary of 4,000 rand a month. Of my 4,000 as a farm worker who looks after cows, pigs, chickens, I grow cabbage, I grow spinach, I grow pumpkins. I earn 4,000 rand a month. When I go at the end of the month to buy my groceries, I spend 2,000 rand. What is in the groceries? The same things that I'm farming. The beef, the chicken meat, the pork, the spinach, the cabbage, the potatoes, the butternut. 2,000 rand. With inflation, as a farm worker, 6 months from now, my groceries are now no longer 2,000 rand. They are now 2,500 rand. Where I work at the farm, it still takes the same amount of time for the chicken to lay the egg. It takes the same amount of time for the cow to give birth to a calf and the calf to grow. It takes the same amount of time for cabbage to grow. Nothing is changed there to say, well, we need to increase the price because these things are taking long. No, nothing has changed there. What I've been paid, the 4,000, has not changed. The food I'm buying has gone up in price. The same food that I'm growing in the shop costs more. I'm not being paid more. But I now have to pay more for the food, which means these people are stealing an extra 500 Rand from my money. So when I think of financial literacy and money, and I want us to have like a conversation, because what happens with a conversation is I'll start speaking. I'll speak inflation, I'll speak interest, we'll speak simple interest, compound interest, we'll speak investing in the stock market, shares, stock, equity, we'll speak ETFs, we'll speak forwards, futures, contracts, we'll speak maybe blockchain, cryptocurrencies. And people will get lost. I'll be like, look, if you go to the bank, see if you can leverage your mortgage and see if you can extract some of the reserves of... People don't know what that is, and they maybe shouldn't. You want to go back to the basics. Say, guys, listen here. Most of us have hopefully some skill, whether it is a skill to produce a good or a skill to provide a service. How do we value that skill that we offer? And who gets to define how much it's worth? And that worth, which is normally in monetary value, how does it link to your real needs in life? Shelter, food, transport, taking care of your kids. And if there's a misalignment, because you have to understand that I will work 30 days in a month, and this is what I get back. And if there's a misalignment somewhere, that means there's something wrong in the money you're being paid. You're being underpaid. Obviously, if you're like, oh, life is cheap, you're being overpaid. Now, how do we make up for the shortfall? And one of the ways is to lower your cost of living, sticking to Penuel's budgeting blueprint. One of them is adjusting the way you live, downgrading your car, moving from a car to a train. Or maybe you have the car, but you pocket it at home and you catch the train and the taxi sometimes. Changing your diet, less lamb. Lamb is expensive. Maybe let's go for chicken. Less going out to fancy restaurants and say, let me make a sandwich at home. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to eat. Going out and buying an expensive burger for 180 Rand is not a need. But buying a sack of maize meal or rice for 40 Rand, which can last you for a week or 2 weeks, that might be a need. Do you need to eat lamb chops that cost 100, 200 Rand versus getting pieces of chicken for 100, 200 Rand, and you can eat those pieces of chicken for a week or 2 weeks? So tweak, because at the end of the day, you're looking for things to keep you going. That's the one part, understanding the value of things, of goods and services, and then seeing how the money game has been twisted so that your labor is constantly devalued while the things that you need are constantly being made more expensive so that money can be stolen from you. South African government today is considering increasing VAT, which means it's going to cost more to do the things, to buy the things we used to buy, purely because our government constantly gives people money for free, constantly steals money through corruption, constantly increases the salaries of ministers that are underperforming and that are failing to build a world-class economy. They are failing to do their job. Our kids are being miseducated and undereducated, and yet they want more money because they'll say inflation. And in that, we have to pay more for goods and services because of their failures. So there's a misalignment, and it's like, how do we fix this misalignment? Then I think once we've embedded the basics of money, what money is, what it's supposed to be, the various types of money, then we can start looking into how do we use our money to work for us. That's where we start speaking about saving and investing. Saving is a waste of time because over time with inflation and because of the weak returns that banks will give you, your money loses value. Investing is where your money is meant to grow faster than the cost of your debt and the cost of living, and faster than the cost of inflation. Where should you invest your money? That's where we can start having the conversation. Where can you invest your money? I've got 100 Rand pen. What are the 5, 10 top spaces I can invest my money? Then I can start speaking to you about things like, what is your risk profile? My risk profile? What do you mean, bro? Are you willing to lose that money? No. Okay. How much of the money are you willing to lose? Well, none of it. Sure, but investing is dangerous. It is risky in its nature. When you go and you buy a cow, invest in a cow. The cow can get stolen. The cow can get sick and die. The cow can get sick and constantly need money to keep making sure that the vet sorts it out. The cow may not be able to conceive and give you calves. So it becomes a risk. How much risk are you willing to take? Hey bro, the cow thing sounds risky, so let me not invest there. Okay. What else is there? You can invest in a house instead of a cow. Of course, the house could be hit by a tornado, by an earthquake, by a hurricane. The chances in South Africa are pretty slim if it's a sturdy home. The house could be stolen, but stolen is like hijacking a building. Some people come in and now they force to stay there, they squat, but they can't pick up the house and run away with it. Unless if it's a pile of tiles in a shack, or it's made of prefab and you can collapse it and take it somewhere else, or it's a caravan. But you cannot take the house anywhere, so it's sturdy. Are people going to look for shelter? Depending on where you stay, generally yes. How much are they generally going to pay me? About this much. Well, compared to a cow that someone can come and steal at night, I think the house is risky. So then we start building a risk profile of how risk averse are you? Do you go to a casino and blow 2,000 Rand on slot machines? Do you go to a sports betting house and put 2,000 Rand on, I think the Springboks will win, Bafana is looking good, or I want to put some money on Real Madrid? Do you buy unit trusts, which are pieces of shares in companies? Do you invest directly in a company? And how's that company been doing? And then how do we lower risk? How do we make sure that your cow doesn't get stolen? Because there's many ways to lower risk. You can make sure that where you buy the cow, it's been vetted, it's been checked, it's clean, it's pure, it comes at a cost. Where you're going to keep the cow, it's a high secure zone. Very expensive to watch it. You can look at your cow on an app that it's still there. It comes at a cost. Will this cow give birth? It's been checked. That comes at a cost. We will get the best bull. The bull sperm comes at a cost. So you're like, I have made sure that I've lowered the risk, but it comes at a cost. The next person picks up a cow anyway. Doesn't care where they're going to put it. Doesn't care who's going to watch it. They're like, look, bro, I'm just gambling. And that's what investing is. And then once you've invested, what is the potential outcome based on the risk you are going to carry? And the higher the risk of something going bad, generally, the higher the reward. The person who buys a cow that has been tested, that is living in a high secure facility, that is low risk, but it's very expensive. So once you get another cow, to sell that cow, you have to deduct all these costs that you use to lower your risk. The next cow could be exactly the same, but you didn't pay for all these extra things. If that cow gives birth to another cow and you sell these cows and there's the same price, the cow that you sold you don't have to deduct all these other costs and you make more money. So higher risk, higher reward. And those become the conversations. And now we start looking into, do we buy shares? What type of shares do we buy? Which companies do we look at? Do we look at retail? Do we look at telecoms? Retail could be ShopRite, Woolworths, Edcon, Edgar's. Do we look at telecoms, MTN, Vodacom, etc.? Do we look at, is it fuels, chemicals, Sasol? Can we invest in BP, Shell? Do we look into construction companies? You know, they're building World Cup Stadium somewhere. You know, in this neighborhood, they're building a lot of houses. I think I can invest there. Do we invest in car manufacturers or car salespeople? You know, are people making more money? They're going to buy more cars. Do we invest in banks? Are the banks making money? More people are banking, more people are taking out loans, etc. Where do we invest our money? And then what are the returns? And what are they based on? Historical performance, the current CEO, the company strategy. Are there other places we can put our money? Yeah, in the bank. You can just put it in a normal savings account, which makes very little. You can look at a 32-day notice. Some of the banks offer 48-day notice, 90-day notice. The longer it takes for them to give you your money, the higher the returns you can earn, because they get to work your money more. You can go into a fixed deposit, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years. And then you can start looking into retail savings bonds. What the hell is a bond? It's a loan that you give to the government and then they promise you a certain amount of money. Okay, how does that work? We speak about that. Where else can I invest my money? Should I be buying Bitcoin? Should I be buying Ethereum? Should I be investing in rental property? If I am, in which area? Is it safe? Are people going to pay? Will I constantly have to maintain the place? Should I be buying an Uber? Should I be buying scooters? Because a lot of people are now doing deliveries, Take a Lot, Mr. D, etc. Should I be buying scooters? Should I be investing in myself? I earn 20,000 Rand a month. Maybe let me take a little bit of my money and let me invest in doing a 6-month course. As soon as I've done that course, my salary will go up from 20,000 to 25,000. Maybe that's a smarter investment. Should I invest in an amazing partner? There's a partner out there who earns well. I want to marry that person because I know if I marry them, they will bring money and direction and leadership into the household. Do I invest in children? I believe my children will add value to the family. They will help build a family business. It's something that I believe in, etc. Those become some of the conversations, but it has to be a conversation because every person is different. The way people feel about money is different. The money people earn is different. The level of skills that they have is different. Whether they're underpaid or overpaid is different. Where they live is different. The currency they earn in is different. So we need to have these conversations around money. And I want to help more and more people understand and demystify money, demystify debt and credit, figure out if they're paying the right amount of interest for their credit profile, find out if they are investing their money in the right place for their risk profile. Should they be getting retirement policies? Should they be saving education policies for their children? What should they be doing? And do they even need money? Can we replace money with real assets in life? So instead of investing money in a company, go and fetch your cousins and be like, I will invest in feeding my cousins and teaching them stuff so that they can help around the house. They're going to fix cars. They're going to cut grass. They're going to babysit kids. And because they live with me, all that money is going to come to me. And I'm going to invest in human capital. And I'm not going to worry about money. And the people that pay my cousins won't pay them in physical cash. I'm going to tell them, please pay them in chickens. Please pay them in petrol. Please pay them in cooking oil. We want tangible goods because we want to be inflation proof. Because if you've been getting paid a cow a month since 1994, as an example, and it's always been a cow a month till 2023, you might find that in 1994 the cow was 1,000 Rand, and you were earning 1,000 Rand a month in cow, and today that same cow is 20,000 Rand, and you're like, I know there's inflation and there's interest. I'm not interested in your money. Because if you guys were paying me 1,000 Rand in 1994 in money, you'd probably only be paying me 5,000 Rand today in money. I want to get paid a cow a month because I know that I get to keep my cows. I know that my cows in my kraal get to breed with the bull. And since 1994, not only have I earned 200 cows, my cows have given birth and the calves have given birth. And I've gone from 200 cows to 800 heads of cattle today because I chose to be paid in tangible goods or in services. Don't pay me in money, pay me in services. Wash my car. Every month, I will give you this thing. Pay me in washing my car, pay me in cleaning my house, and that will be the standard forever. I will not pay you in money because money causes issues. It's misaligned. There's interest, there's debt. People fiddle around with it. We will barter in goods and services. It's my message for you guys today, man. Please, in the comments below, send some of your hottest money questions. I think maybe that's a good place to start. Send some of your hottest money, business, budgeting questions. Pen, what is this? What is Forex trading? Should I be putting my money here? What are retail savings bonds? How should I pick my first car? And I will begin looking at the questions that I like the most. And then I will make videos to try and answer some of those questions, hopefully with examples, and hopefully guide you guys to the best places. And hopefully some of you guys that want your questions to be answered can maybe donate some money to my channel, and I will make sure that I prioritize your questions in the videos that I make. And for people that want to donate to me, of course, I will share some of my details so that you guys can donate to some of the work that I want to do. A lot of you guys normally have requests for videos that you want me to make. If you can donate to me making these videos, I will make the videos for you. You can also ask. I can always just make the video because I also think it's very important. But I would appreciate any donation to the work and the education that I'm doing so that I can also go research, so that I can take time and find the right information and knowledge and unique special information that will change your life, your family's life, and allow you to live better in this capitalistic money world that we're living in. Die swart pen van Johannesburg af. Die pen elimnyama mfana wase Newcastle wazalelwe emadadeni. Dankie ngiyabonga. Have a great and blessed day. Cheers.